It's been a very good year for the X-Men. Deadpool and Wolverine is set to release in theaters soon, also bringing Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine, wearing his iconic yellow and blue suit. I mean, it's only been 20 years.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about.
And X-Men 97 has been releasing amazing episode after amazing episode. In this video, we'll be discussing why X-Men 97 has been so astonishing. No pun intended. Retro. I may not have grown up in the 90s, but I do own the 5-season DVD box set and watched all the episodes growing up. So without growing up in that period, I do still have a sense of nostalgia with that show. Interestingly, I was a bit worried that they'd be bringing the show back, especially with the track record that Marvel has had in recent years. So I went to Disney Plus, and I watched the first 2 episodes and became immediately hooked. I love this show. This show feels so new and refreshing, as well as keeping the retro feel that the original show had. From the simplistic art style to the corny and soap opera feeling lines of dialogue. The team truly found a way to make a natural feeling continuation to the original series while feeling new in and of its own right. Characters. This story takes place immediately after Professor X fakes his death and leaves Earth. This puts the X-Men in a very different situation that hasn't happened too often in the original series. Characters don't have the guidance that they originally had, and as more intense situations occur, moral loyalties are tested. Also, we see more characters get the true shine that they deserve. Wolverine isn't in a lot of this show, and for some that might be off-putting. However, it works to the show's benefit. Wolverine was only a major player in the stories in the movies, even becoming team leader by the end of Bryan Singer's X-Men trilogy. In the comic books and the original TV show, he was not always center stage. This allows other characters such as Cyclops, Morph, or even Rogue to grow in and of their own journeys and have their own moments to shine. Things take an intriguing turn as Magneto is the team's leader based on Charles Xavier's will. With Magneto as leader, things seem to be getting better when the government decides to give mutants their own island, Genosha. Genosha seems to be Charles Xavier's dream realized, but quickly becomes a nightmare. This is the case as a Godzilla-sized Sentinel commits mass genocide. This results in the deaths of thousands of mutants. Madeline Pryor, a Mr. Sinister created Jean Grey clone, and a beloved fan favorite Gambit.
Remember it.
Grief overtaking many mutants and a thirst for vengeance with our own X-Men, they must stop Bastion, a humanoid sentinel, from destroying the future they're thriving to achieve. This while also stopping an enraged Magneto. Alliances are tested, and will humanity ever truly embrace mutant kind after these events? I forget to mention Cable. Cable is doing future timey-wimey stuff. This show is far more mature in audience compared to the original. Since all the kids in the 90s Fox era are adults or teenagers now, this show feels more like within that age range. This also allows for more violent action, darker story beats, and creative liberties that just couldn't be made on the broadcast when it was meant to be PG. Many moments in the series that happen are in fact from the comic books. Some of these moments couldn't be handled on kids' TV, such as the mass genocide on Genosha or the incredible death of Gambit. From the humanoid demonic-looking Sentinels to ripping out Wolverine's adamantium skeleton, which, by the way, is so metal. The story, in feeling more mature, ironically feels more captivating than the original. It continually gets better with each episode and still has so much more to offer to the future of its continuation. Animation. The animation in the show is incredible. That is mostly due to reducing the details of the character art. X-Men 97 does what Batman the Anime Series Season 4 did. When Batman the Anime Series was released, it had a fantastic art style, but its animation suffered to keep up with that level of detail on such a tight schedule. This resulted in characters feeling stiff and unnatural in many moments. The same problem happened with X-Men 97 in seasons 1 through 5. The solution was to reduce the detail where it wouldn't be too difficult to animate within constrained time. The result is some of the best Marvel animation put to screen. Movements are so fluid, the characters look fantastic, and the colors, my god, the colors. This series is a true work of art. I can't wait to see how they continue this art style after this finale. The spirit of the X-Men. This show does not lose sight of the roots where it has come from. These characters all live in a world that is still very intolerant to mutants, much like in the original. As we know, the X-Men originally was a metaphor for the civil rights movement, even going as far as making Magneto and Xavier characterizations of the philosophy that Martin Luther King and Malcolm X had. This series modernizes that element to those characters very well and puts you as an audience member in the struggle that these characters deal with. When a character is unhappy, you feel very upset. When a character is scared, you fear for their situation. When injustice occurs, you want them to seek justice. All of that is due to the phenomenal writing team of X-Men 97. Also, I adore the adaptation of the comics to the screen. This show adapts some of the best and most conflicting moments in X-Men comics, which in theory could feel forced, but handles it so naturally that sometimes I forgot there are moments from the comic books. After the wild ride that's occurred this 6th season, I can only imagine what they have planned for the future. I can say without a doubt that X-Men 97 is one of the best modern Marvel projects that's been released in a minute. I highly recommend that if you haven't already watched this, you won't be disappointed.